Hello, everyone. Good evening. Happy Monday. Please hit that like button as you come in. Please hit that like button. I'm just going to put the countdown on a little bit again, just to give you guys some time to come in. Hello, everyone. Good evening, everybody. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Good evening. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing well. Please hit that like button, everybody, as you guys come in. Good evening, Bajan. I hope you're well. Thanks for joining in tonight. So, today we have quite a lot to talk about. We are going to be talking about Stacey and Wendy. We're going to be talking about Married to Medicine. We're going to be talking about the Potomac of it all. Am I the only one who just felt like this episode of Potomac was so boring? I found the episode so boring. I would say I probably give it a 0. Maybe 0 is a bit harsh. Let me try to increase it. I will probably give the episode of Potomac a 2. I just thought it was so bad. I don't know whatever it is they were trying to do, it was not working. I don't know if it's the editing, and to find out that that is pretty much the season finale, because there is going to be one season finale with Karen. But if you watch it, you just feel like, where is the rest of the season? And it is so obvious that they don't have content, which is why they kept on giving us the girl strip over and over and over again. So it's literally just felt like we've just had the girl strip over and over and over again. And for me, I need them to do better. We can't just have a girl strip like that where it's just dead. And so my personal perspective would be, I would definitely rate it a 2. What would you guys rate the episode of Potomac? Let me know in the chat. What would you guys rate this episode of Potomac on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being terrible, 10 being decent. Bajan said, I just watched the clips. I give it a 0. Yep, -0. Yep, it definitely is given very much a 0. I really wish that they had done something else with this. It's really not hitting. And so I understand why they decided to go find Karen from the prison to make sure she is back on the show, because this season was a testament of how much they need Karen. I don't know what it was, but the cast where it just wasn't hitting like that. And I think what is so shocking is the fact that we're literally at the end of everything. It's like, think about it, we're at the end of the season and we're dealing with mess like this. So definitely not a fan at all of the whole thing, to be honest. Candy says 5, so Candy will give it a 5. Okay. Candy's pretty generous, so fair enough. Hi, Candy. Um, Tommy says, I think they are dragging it, to be honest. Absolutely. It is obvious that they are dragging it. They have to do whatever they can to get the content. At this point, considering how this trip went and how this is the end of the season, I'm starting to feel like even the way the trip went is definitely have it's given production, because it's given they had no content and so they had to drag out this girl trip just for content. Tommy says that's why it's dry. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think they would have even dragged it on as long as they have if there was actually content. I feel like producers, if there's actually content that they can show, they would not drag it. They would not do this. The way it has been dragged on like this is obvious that they didn't have the content and the producers just had to do with what they had. So that's what I think. I think somehow I feel like the girls did not really bring the storylines, the fun stuff. And so producers are just like, how can I cut and paste all this? Where can I put this? And then they were like, let's have this trip give us all the content we want, because that's the only way we are going to be able to have a show, really. They really should have called the season the girls trip from hell, because there was nothing fun about that girls trip, in my opinion. I watched it, and even I went back and watched some clips as well, and the whole time I just was thinking, what this is the worst season of Potomac. This is the worst season Potomac has ever had, in my opinion. Let me know if y'all think that Potomac have had a different um season, but this is definitely, for me, this is the worst one they've ever had. um I know we did cover the sneak peek, so I'm not really going to get into it too much. Um but my overall thought is it was just dry. The the most fun part to me from this episode was watching them sing that off tune song around the piano. That was the bit that was cracking me up. I think Giselle also said Angel, she was born for hosting. Angel was not born for this. And that made me laugh, because I'm so sorry, but that is so funny. But that is also true, because the way the strip has gone, it is obvious that Angel was definitely not born for this at all. Um, the I was expecting the girlies to do a sleepover and they didn't. And I was a little bit like, this is a girls' trip. Where is all the energy? But then again, I understand, because it feels like from in Colorado, they were constantly traveling. And that's the thing. I feel like if you're traveling constantly, it's so easy to get tired. So I would not be surprised that the ladies were probably like, I am tired. I need to rest. This is just, I am over this. I can't do anything anymore. And so, yes, I'm really not surprised that the girls were like, we're going home. We're going to bed, honey. Now, this is where I think it gets interesting, because this is really what I want to talk about, if I'm being completely honest. Jazzy versus Stacey, and then Stacey versus Wendy. So, what do y'all think? What do you guys think? Put it in the chat. Do you think that Wendy was wrong for chiming in and talking about her 2 cents and then basically going off on Stacey? Do you think that she was wrong? She was correct? What do you think? Put it in the chat, people. Put it in the chat. I'm going to play the clip because I feel like the clip is really important. I need to play it back. We need to watch it together. And then I am going to pause and give some commentary. Bajan B says every time it popped up, it was the trip yawn fest. Absolutely. I feel like I just don't understand why they've probably given us the last five. Well, I understand because they have nothing else to show, but I think that, yeah, when I think back to like the girls trip, I feel like it's been so many episodes. It just drags on, and is basically unending. But let me get the clips up so that y'all can see what we are talking about, and then we can go through it together. So I want to start from the car. because that's why I feel like it started to get heated. Guys, please hit that like button as you guys come in. What are the people doing today, honey? Is it do we need to, let me see. Okay, let me just get this out. Guys, please hit that like button. Thank you. Okay. Now, of course, it's YouTube, so I have to keep pausing. But there's a bit that I really want um to show y'all.
Exchange numbers with you, even though this is my first time meeting you.
If it's your first, how long have you known me?
Wendy is giving I'm tired of Stacey. I don't know if y'all agree, so put it in the chat. Do you think Wendy is tired of Stacey and her lies? That's my question, because her facial expression in this car is giving my friend is full of ish and I am tired of it. That's what it's given to me. That's the impression that I got.
I understand. What does it matter? It's the first time you met her. So what?
So I was supposed to be rude to her?
I don't care who you're rude to. You're my friend.
So it sounds like Stacey is like, I need you to ride for me regardless of whether or not I do something wrong. It's like, you got to ride for me. I do not care what I do wrong. That's what it sounds like.
How did you want me
to Wendy's face? It's the zooming into Wendy's face for me. Wendy just looks like, what? Wendy is tired. Super is like, I'm about to dip back out of the show to snooze first. It really is. Like, to be honest, I feel like it's the end of the show. And I do wonder like what's going to happen next season. I'm hoping that next season would be better with everything going on, I guess, with Wendy and stuff. That's a storyline. Karen being back, that's a storyline. And so I'm hoping that when Karen is back and with Wendy, the whole season would be great. But this season was not it. Champagne Charlie is upset because no one don't want her effort. Indeed. Wendy wants her to stop. Wendy is kissing the main girl's butt. Interesting. So I personally feel like Wendy is tired of the lies. I think the thing is, it's easy to overlook someone when you're not their friend. Yeah. But when you're their friend and they're always constantly coming to talk to you about other people and things, you just want them to be honest, right? It just feels like, why aren't you being honest, standing your truth? And I can understand why from from Wendy's point of view. She's just like, I'm tired. I don't want to keep hearing about your lies. Just tell the truth. And so that's what I feel. I feel like Stacey's definitely like continuously lying, and Wendy's tired of the lies. Why wouldn't Jazzy get to know Charisse? She didn't do anything to her. Absolutely. It's very childish behavior. Like, okay, so she must now be mean to Charisse, who you may be cool with later on. And then it would seem like Jazzy is kissing Stacey's behind. And so I definitely feel like Stacey was being unreasonable for that request. You guys are co-workers. That's just the reality. You guys are co-workers. You have to coexist in the same space. So if you guys want to exchange numbers, that doesn't mean that they're going to be buddies. It's just a number at the end of the day. And so I definitely feel like Stacey was definitely overreacting with that. D says, good afternoon. I don't mind the season. Oh, really? Wendy is not kidding. Kissing, but she's being real. Stacey did lie. She knew when the wedding was scheduled. Yep, she knew when it was, and it was scheduled. She knew when it was. I think she really didn't want to go. This is my personal opinion. I know some of y'all may not like it. Stacey stands may not like it, but I'm gonna tell y'all what I believe the truth is. I feel that Stacey did not want to go. I think Stacey sees Jazzy and the rest of the people as co-workers. Stacey did not want to go. She wanted to have her event that same week. She wasn't thinking about no Jazzy's wedding. And so she probably was like, well, am I going to get a check for going to the wedding? And so when she then found out that Ashley and Wendy was going, she probably thought, okay, we could get a check for going, so I'm gonna go as well. That is what it was given. And I can imagine from Wendy's perspective, it's like, I'm your friend and I'm trying to ride for you, but you keep lying. That's the whole issue that Stacey and Tia have, is because Stacey lied, Tia called it out, Stacey did not like it, and then it became Stacey and Tia beef. So I just think Stacey just needs to stay in her truth. Speak up, tell the truth. Okay, yes. To be honest, you gave me the date and I forgot. And then I booked a whole thing. I'm so sorry. That could have been the end of it, right? And then when the girl said they were going, I knew that as your friend, I should have been there. I should be there to support you. It had nothing to do, she could have said that. Instead, it was obvious that she was getting defensive. Champagne Charlie wants back on the show so bad. Wendy doesn't allow anyone to influence what she says or does. Yes, I definitely think that she stands in how she truly feels. And I don't think that Stacey likes that. Stacey wants somebody that is going to be riding for her regardless of what she does. So even if you do something publicly, I'm never going to call you out on it because you're my friend. I'm just going to ride for you. And I feel like that's what it was. Stacey scheduled meetings. When she found out the wedding was being filmed, she decided to go, and Jazzy was supposed to be her girl. Exactly. This is, you and I have the same perspective on this. I feel like as soon as Stacey realized that she was probably going to get a check out of it, she's like, yeah, I'm not passing up on that check. I am going to the wedding because the cameras are going to be there. I think initially when it felt like the rest of the girls weren't going, she was just like, I'm not going. Because what would the reason be? This is why I'm like, your co-workers are not your friends. No matter how close you are and how well you all get on, these people are not your friends. And I feel like that's where Jazzy is seen in real life. Although I think Jazzy was being very dramatic about the way she took it back to the rest of the group, but I do understand where she's coming from. You knew about it before, and it turns out you didn't want to come. You only came because the cameras were flying, but the cameras were coming. And I feel like that's essentially what she was trying to say without breaking the fourth wall. I don't know. Okay, what? Angela Lansbury, aka Tia, has to say she's just a flop. Oop and a hoop. D is not seeing it for Tia. Bajan was like, oh, well, that's why I don't beg friends. Yep. I definitely think, like, yeah, let your friends gravitate towards you. Let the people who are for you be for you, and not be out here begging for friends. But yeah, if Jazzy was full time, I believe she would have been a bridesmaid. Yep, I definitely think so because it would have brought more attention. It's so sad. I just think like some people are not your friends, and I think you just need to realize some people are not your friends. They see you, yes, you guys are friendly, yes, you guys work in the same space, but they're not your friends. That is ultimately what it boils down to, in my opinion. Um, they were friends off camera. Yes, that's the thing. It's like they were friends off camera, but it sounds like Stacey was playing the game because Stacey did not really see her as her friend. That's what is given. Stacey didn't really see her as a friend. Stacey was just there for a good time. If the cameras are there, I will show up. If the cameras are not there, I'm not showing up. I don't think there's anything wrong in what Stacey, in what Wendy said. Why do I keep calling Wendy Stacey? This is so annoying. Sorry, guys. I don't see anything wrong in what Wendy is saying about Stacey. Wendy is literally telling her, like, girl, if you want loyalty, you need to be ready to bring the loyalty. If you're not bringing the loyalty, sit down somewhere. Don't be asking and expecting loyalty when you are not even loyal. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I think there are always a lot of people who expect loyalty, but they cannot for a second give loyalty. It's like you're expecting what you can't give. And I think that's absolutely
Upset about
yeah, man. Bajan says, I understand that it's a new season, but after what Grizzle said about Happy Eddie, Wendy ran her mouth on Grizzy and roommates, then Mia threw a drink on Wendy, and then the Grey Eye Bandit stuck up for Mia. Yep, absolutely. And I hope Wendy also knows the people are not her friend. Tommy says, I don't like the way Wendy handled this, to be honest. Tommy, one thing you will do is ride for Stacey, and I'm here for it. But to be honest, I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to call her out in the next clip. But for in this car right now, I don't think there's anything she has done wrong yet. I think is when it's in front of the ladies and she starts raising her voice and stuff, that's where I think like she went wrong. But other than that, I'm actually Team Wendy on this one. Baton says can't stand Ashy, but she was on the look. She was the only one that looked out for Wendy on that trip. Plus, Mia was saying to Karen she has to choose. Madness, I wouldn't pay them dust. Yep, absolutely. D says Wendy was so real in this interaction. I love this from her. Yes, I think that Stacey is very pretentious, and it's okay that the people like her and stuff, but she's very, very pretentious. And so it's very frustrating to sit in a car and hear someone basically lie whilst you're there, knowing fully well that you know the tea, and you just have to sit down, and both of them are your friends. And I think that's pretty much what happened here.
A number exchange.
I never knew that Ashley was coming to your wedding.
So now she's lying about not knowing that Ashley was coming to the wedding when that is not the truth. It's like, girl, what is the reason for all these little lies? Like, there is no need. Wendy just shook her head because Wendy is fed up. Wendy is like, you and the lies. I need that the lies by Candy Burris. Like that is what it is given.
I'm getting stuff in preparation to come to Jazzy's wedding, actually.
Oh, are you?
Exactly. So it's like, did you know or you did not know? I love production for bringing this out because it's like, yo, bring. I don't see anything wrong with what Wendy is saying right now. Do not play me right now. And I feel like I personally don't think there's anything wrong in Wendy saying something, especially when it's like it's her and Jazzy and Stacey and they all get on. It sounds like they all are cool. So I don't see anything wrong in Wendy being able to call her out like babes.
Upset about a number.
Like babes, why are you reinventing history? Why are you lying? Tommy says, please vote the poll, y'all. Yes, please vote. Stacey does not have a natural bone in her body. She is always on. I completely agree, Super. I feel like it's so frustrating because it's like, girl, just tell the dang truth. Tell the truth. What happened? I wasn't going to come. I'm so sorry. I had other things planned. I wasn't going to come. I missed the date you gave me initially. My bad. Won't happen again. That could have been the end of it. But Stacey refuses to take accountability, and Wendy is now having to remind her that, girl, you are missing the truth. You are missing the truth. And I don't actually see anything wrong in that. Like, someone needs to correct Stacey because Stacey is unhinged, in my opinion, with the lies. The lies are unnecessary. Someone says Wendy's scenes are very performative. To think Stacey was the one that reached out in positivity after your arrest. This was before the arrest, hon. You're missing the truth, Wendy. Stacey, stop, please. So everybody can call Stacey out, but she can't do it to nobody else. Okay, Stacey knew Jazzy's wedding 6 months in advance and still books business appointments during that date and lied about not knowing Ashley was going to the wedding, but she's upset because Jazzy got Teresa's number. Girl, bye. Exactly. It's like, be consistent across the board. You can't not want to come to my wedding, but I must not take someone else's telephone number. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, whose friend are you? Yet you want some loyalty that you yourself are not willing to provide. That's a joke. Someone says all this lady does is lie. While the cameras are rolling, Stacey was wrong, but they're framing this as if she was an opportunity that attended Jazz's wedding for her own benefit. She simply didn't prioritize the wedding and had no intentions of going, even after finding Ashley and Andy would be there. Jazzy shedding tears over it is dramatic as hell. That's what someone says. I don't know, but I'm starting to see Stacey differently. The mask is starting to slip. I think the mask is definitely slipping for some people, and I feel like it's only a matter of time before the mask completely slips for most of the people. But I'm sure there will still be people that would not see anything wrong in the way Stacey acts. Bajan says Wendy was sure loyal to those credit cards. Ooh, let's say allegedly, honey. Allegedly. Let me put that banner up. This ain't my thoughts. Allegedly. Where's my alleged banner? Yep, allegedly. Okay. In one conversation, she says two things. Yep. She's not consistent. The conversation is always, I said this, you did this. It's never consistent. We don't know what the truth is until production reminds us what the truth is, because we can't trust anything Stacey says. Wendy and Giselle are not friends. They made up for the betterment of the show. Yep, I definitely agree. I think the people did not like that they were constantly going back and forth. The people needed Giselle to be a little bit softer. And I think production told them, you guys better play nice. And so I think that's what they're doing. I don't for a second think those people are friends. Super says, I cannot stand a liar. I just cannot. Me too, Super. I think we are on the same page on that. I really can't stand liars, especially people that just lie willy nilly and there's no reason for a lie. You just lie unprovoked. And as someone who has been friends with in the past, someone like Stacey who just lies for no reason, it's all funny until they start lying on you. And that's exactly what it was. And then mutual friends now start saying things to me. And I'm like, wait, she said that about me, but she's calling me to gist and talk. I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, I just think Stacey just needs to remember her lies and take accountability. Simple. Tommy says this is not even about liking Stacey. I don't like how Wendy called her out in front of Jazzy. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with what she did. I think I see how I feel like Wendy was wrong when she called her out in front of the whole group, but I don't necessarily see anything wrong in calling her out in front of Jazzy, because if them three are friends, if we're all friends, then you calling her out in front of Jazzy, I don't really see anything wrong in it personally, but I hear you. I hope Jazzy's wedding dress looks better than her reunion look. Yes, I think the wedding dress actually looks better. I think I saw something online and yeah. Bashan says sorry, allegedly. Nice, all right. Grayzo needs to take accountability as well as Ashi. Absolutely. I feel like all of them and Stacey, everybody needs to take some accountability for something, including Angel for that raggedy ass worst trip. Allegedly, didn't Wendy lie on the other African lady that only lasted one season? Oh, did she? I think that lady was out of order. If you're talking about Nneka, the reason I say that lady was out of order is that lady basically said that Wendy was from a tribe and Osu tribe and all of that. Yeah, all of that is funny business. You don't be out here talking about people's tribes and being outlaws in their tribe. Like that is way too sensitive to bring that on national TV, hun. That's how I feel anyway. I feel like Nneka came a little bit salty with that information. I don't think she should have put that information on the platform like this. So if I was Wendy too, I would be giving her all the smoke. Okay. Stacey could not say nothing because she could tell that Wendy was tired of the shenanigans. Like, just stand on your truth. Like, everything does not need to be a lie. You don't need to twist things around because everything is just a little confusing. D says Neka was out of order. Ashley said that in shop. It was disgusting. I stopped watching the rest of that city. Me too. I was absolutely disgusted. As someone that I was just like, yo, when it comes to someone being outlawed and those sorts of things, and you stay out of that. You don't really bring that on a platform like that. And you're also meant to be Nigerian. You should know better, sis. And so for me, I know some of the people liked Nneka, but for that reason, I just could not get behind Nneka. I think that a better a better way of Wendy handling that should have been privately, honey. Wendy should have pulled Stacey to the side and said, "Why do you keep lying? Right? Why do you keep lying?" But the problem is, if she doesn't say it on the show, it's going to seem like everybody is calling out Stacey and Stacey don't be doing nothing wrong. And so I don't blame, like, I feel like Wendy has tried a whole season and was out here not really saying much about Stacey while Stacey be lying. And then now she's like, I'm done. I don't have to sit down and listen.
Sharice can have my number. Whoop to do.
Don't raise my blood pressure up.
Stand in.
Now, guys, I read this comment because remember, Stacey brought up a point that she heard that Jazzy was recording her. And someone said that record feature is an update that I've accidentally turned on without knowing it's a new feature. Yep, that happened to me with my mom. Like, it is a random little button and then the iPhone tells you someone about you're being recorded or something like that. So I definitely feel like, yeah, that record feature is something that can go off pretty easily. I definitely don't think I think it's some BS in my opinion. Someone said, "Girl, I accidentally record every other phone call. I hit that button. You have, yep, yep. It's a new update. It's happened so many times. I think that's what happened. I don't think it's really that deep, like Stacey. It really is not that deep." Now, let me see the bit where I think Wendy was definitely doing too much. Eesh. And this is where I feel like Jazzy took it all the way to hell. And I feel like Jazzy be doing that. I feel like Jazzy is looking for a moment. Jazzy wants to stay on the show. And the thing about someone like that is they're a little dangerous. They are a little dangerous because they would say anything, create a certain narrative, whatever it is they need to do to keep that check and to come on that show is what they will do. And so I feel like Jazzy is really showing herself now. So if they know what is good for them, they better move with caution when it comes to Jazzy. This is just my personal opinion. Someone said the best thing Jazzy has done is be a friend of the show. Yep. Wendy, now this is the point. Like, Wendy and Stacey should definitely have a united front. If you guys are friends in public, at least when it comes to things like the main group, you guys should have a united front. I can understand someone like Wendy chiming in her opinion when it comes to Jazzy because it's a smaller group. You all and Jazzy are friends. However, when it comes to the rest of the group, I don't feel like you should be talking to your friend in that way, Wendy. You are wrong. This is where I feel like Wendy was wrong. I don't think that Wendy should have gone the way that she went. Eesh. Super says she clocks her right where she needed to. Ooh. Season 1 when okay, I think you guys are having a separate conversation. Bajan said this is the most I've seen Jazzy all season. Yep, definitely. Understand we didn't see the entire conversation, so we don't know how bad it was. Actually, you're right. Super, and thanks for calling that out. Because sometimes the way these shows edit, they edit so much that you end up losing the plot on who's who. And so I will not be shocked if Stacey did get some favorable edits and we did not see enough of what the conversation was between Wendy and Stacey. So thank you for calling that out as well, because that has to be a caveat.
Mother.
Okay. Wendy was definitely over it at that point. Please, this Wendy and Stacey fight looks forced in my opinion, because why are you guys fighting at the end of the show? The thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean that this was when they fought. It just means that this is what made the cut. So sometimes a lot more is on the show, but then the editors decide to cut it. And the girls' trip could have been at the start of the season. That's the thing. They don't necessarily edit and put the episodes or the scenes in the actual order in which it happens. They don't necessarily do that. They can pull something from last week and put it in episode 1, put something from 2 months ago in episode 6, you know? So that's what editing does. But I definitely think Wendy on this one, sister. I can't even support you. I feel like you were doing too much with that. There was too much energy for someone that is so-called your friend. I would need you to pipe down. Don't talk to me like that. Then we can resolve it. So yeah, Wendy, I can't be on your side on that one. Let me see what y'all are saying in the poll. Okay, so whose team are you on? 30% are Team Stacey and 70% are Team Wendy. So Team Wendy wins. I'm not surprised that people are on Wendy's side because I think people, especially with all of the flashbacks that production keeps doing, the people are seeing Stacey's lies in real time, and the people are just tired. The people are like, "Yo, I understand why Stacey is just. I understand why Wendy is just over it. Why do I keep saying Wendy and Stacey together? This is crazy." Has never happened to me before, but for some reason, it's like every time is Wendy, I think Stacey. Every time it's Stacey, I think Wendy. It's like, what is going on? Yo, I did have a long day, so maybe that's what it is. But yeah, okay. And I did take some painkillers, so maybe that is low-key making me slightly slightly off. Oh, right. Okay. So let me just think. There's more that has to be said. So Kenya Moore had some things to say about the reunion dress that Angel decided to wear. So let's listen.
Massey, Angel Massey. Angel Massey. Don't know her. Don't really have anything negative to say. I just think it kind of looks like she's going to a brothel.
Eesh, not a brothel. Mm-mm-mm.
Versus a reunion. Sorry. It's giving Mae West, honey. It's giving Mae West tease. It's a lot. Does she look beautiful in it? Yes. But to me, it's giving with the boobs, with the silhouette, with the color, with the fabric. It's giving Mae West tease. It's giving, yes, these girls. Okay, girl number 1, girl number it's giving, honey. Let's get the list out. And you
Okay, well, at least she's at a reunion. Where are you at, Kenya?
pick one. Okay. But again, I don't know her. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm just being silly. Okay? Please don't kill me. Angel.
Do you guys think Angel looks like she's going to a brothel? Please put in the chat. Do you agree with what did you agree with what Kenya said? Does Angel look like she is going to a brothel? Is she giving Madame? Put it in the chat. You all think she's giving Madame. Also, hello everyone. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Please hit that like button. Thank you very much. What do y'all think? Let me. Very Fredericks of Hollywood. Let's see. Doesn't Kenya have a lot of stuff to worry about? Why would she use brothel for a married woman? That's disrespectful. To be honest, Kenya is always saying stuff about people that are on the show, and it's like, girl, it's so obvious that you want to be on the show. So my question is like, girl, if you want to be on the show, just try and get back on the show instead of hating from outside. Like that's what it's definitely given when it comes to Kenya. Kenya always has a lot to say about everything, and it's like, girl, sit down somewhere. You're not on the show. You're probably not going to be on the show anytime soon. So instead of like trying to, be nice to the people on the cast so that people can actually push for you to come, then maybe come back on the show. Then maybe. Apparently, I don't know if you guys I don't like the side bit of Angel's dress. That's the only bit. Yeah. Super says is Lady Marmalade. That is so funny to me. Guys, did you guys hear that apparently Karen came and read Wendy down? And apparently, like, it was brutal between Karen and Wendy. Here's the thing, yeah. Y'all know we talked about Kiana coming for Wendy. Now, I'm starting to really feel like the reason Kiana was coming for Wendy so hard was because Karen sent her, allegedly. That's what it's giving. It's giving Karen sent her. And she's doing Karen's dirty work. Because if Karen came back to the reunion after being in prison is a time of reflection. And then you came back with so much anger and venom towards this lady. It's like, what has she done to you? What we've seen on the show is she has always supported you. So I don't really understand why Karen has so much energy for Wendy. I feel like it's totally uncalled for, honestly. Oh, let me refresh it.
Karen the least excited to see?
Wendy, that was brutal.
It
You
was
guys,
a
I was
lot,
like,
yeah.
what is going on, Karen?
Exactly. So it sounded like Karen really went in on Wendy. Like, I honestly don't understand what Karen's issue is with Wendy. It just seems to have that much energy towards someone you have not seen in that long, and you've gone to prison, you've had time to reflect, and you still came back that pissed. It's like, why? Someone says, oh, someone says, what is our issue with Wendy? Because honestly, y'all should be teaming up because the girls will drag. Yep, the girls will drag y'all next season, honey. Give us reunion tease. One thing about Karen, when she comes off the fence, she's not to be played with. Wendy didn't give Karen any grace when the Grand Dame got the DUI. No, I think Wendy was actually one of the people giving her grace. Who really likes Wendy on this cast? Gizelle is smart and strategic with Wendy. That's not a friendship. Jazzy said Gizelle knows how to be diplomatic and be politically correct, so she's not really friends with Wendy. Wendy knows that. Kay, Angel, Ashley, Karen, Monique, and Jazzy don't like Wendy. Stacey is also in an alliance with Wendy. Wendy and Stacey have a friendship of strategic survival on the show. Yep, I definitely agree. Karen said Wendy didn't fit the aesthetic of the show, so I'm not surprised. This makes me sad because Wendy had her back that year, unless it's because Wendy believes Stacey right away. I definitely think that I don't understand why Karen has so much beef with Wendy. I definitely think that I think it's totally uncalled for. I don't think it should have been that deep. Like, you went to prison, you've come back. Hopefully things should have been better. There's no reason for you to be going off on that lady like that. Remember, Stacey told Wendy Karen said she shouldn't trust Wendy on the season finale. Yes, I remember. I remember that. And I definitely feel like Karen probably said it because look at the way in which Karen is treating her. Yeah, Karen never liked you, honey. There's no way someone that liked you would treat you like that. There is no freaking way. No way whatsoever. Badger said, wasn't it something a few seasons ago back to do with the White House visit or something allegedly? Yeah, but she took her to the White House. She took her to the White House, so she must be a nice friend if she took her to the White House. So I don't know. I think Wendy actually did her well. I think Karen is also not the greatest of friends. I think Karen is entertaining for the show, but I don't think Karen thinks of herself as being friends with any of the ladies. So that's why she doesn't have any issue snaking Wendy and all of that. But it would be interesting to see how the reunion goes. That I would definitely want to see. Stacey also had some feedback for Gizelle, since Gizelle likes to comment on Stacey's relationship with her husband. Here's what was said.
Gizelle, when she said on Watch What Happens Live that you don't really want to be with Timo and that you would have gone with Mauricio if you had the chance.
You know,
am in a relationship where I feel safe, supported, and deeply loved. And I don't think Gizelle recognizes that.
Oh my.
Heavenly is just there. It's like Heavenly is like, this is what I hope I could be, but I'm too nasty for that.
My.
What was your
Oh my gosh, so funny. But yeah. Super says Karen did like Wendy her first season. Yes, you are right. And I think that she's never really liked Wendy. I think that she's probably just tolerated Wendy, but I don't think she liked her. And so it was very easy to just jumping like that and just be like, yeah, whatever. But I don't think she liked Wendy ever really. Stacey's right about Jizzy. Yep, she is not wrong. It's like if that man loves her, that man loves her. She loves that man, that's enough. Mind your business. So that's just what that is. Let us see. I think there was one thing that I was meant to bring up for the Potomac before we move on to so basically Quad, y'all remember how Quad checked Gizelle? Kind of. And then the ladies are basically coming in to chime in. Let me just put that. You all know I would fast forward it a little bit.
Driving around in circles for the whole episode.
God, I love
That's what it's given. It's definitely given just riding around in circles. It's like, what are we doing?
Angel, but my goodness, I mean, she fumbled the bag. She really did. And you know, although she fumbled the bag, I want to say that I believe in her intention of wanting to have a good trip.
Okay.
It just didn't turn out that way.
It sure
in any regard.
Yes. Do you regret bringing up Jassie's loyalty to you against Charisse since Jassie brought up allegations that you only agreed to go to her wedding because Ashley and Wendy were going?
No.
Okay, so she's like, no, she ain't with it. That's not what happened. Fair enough, guys. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. There's also a poll in the chat for you guys, so please let us know what you think. Let me see what you all are saying in the chat, because when I'm on this, I can't see your comments. Let me go and check. Super says, I didn't watch this Watch What Happens Live because I can't stomach each one of them. Sis, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I think, I think you and I are very similar when it comes to liars, and it's just like, oh, yeah, I definitely get annoyed with like constantly lying for no reason. Bajan says Karen had a dress on with pockets, and Karen had her hands in the pockets and mocking how Wendy walks. Yes, it's definitely giving Karen a never likes that lady. And that's the thing, being mindful of the ones that never liked you but like to play in your face like they're your friend. Always be mindful of them. What they said is how they feel, honey. All those things she said about you in the beginning, all those jokes, all those little nasty comments is genuinely how she feels about you. And I wish that people would be more mindful of that. Pay attention to people. The kind of things people be saying about you, pay attention. Don't you forget that. Sorry, Karen was wearing a jeans. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. The opinion still stands. You're right.
Oh, you know, I am who I am and I speak from my heart. And, you know, in that moment, Jassie is like clearly like desperate for a moment. I was more.
Ooh! Now, she's not wrong. It's definitely given Jazzy wants a moment in general. I think we've seen how Jazzy treated Tia like multiple times. Jazzy is just trying to get this check. Jazzy just wants to be a full-time member. So whoever she has to snake to get on the show, that's basically who she will.
More concerned with Wendy's reaction. I was so alarmed by the way that she spoke to me. Like, my friends don't speak to me that way.
Well, I was going to say, do you regret getting so pissed at Wendy, given how she had your back this season?
No, because you know, you have friends that love you and they think you are amazing no matter what you do. And then you have friends that disagree with you. And I think that I can learn something from that. So
Yep, that's the thing. It's like your friends are not always going to ride and ride and ride. Yes, they can ride for you, but yes, they can also call you out on your BS. And I don't think her calling her out on the BS is the problem. I think it's the way Wendy went in. Wendy went a little bit too far, in my opinion, especially outside with the girls. That's where I think Wendy went too far.
Fought. We talked about it after extensively, and we're good. I love Wendy. That's my girl.
We talked about this a little
Thank
bit.
you.
We were,
That's real friendship. When a friend can tell you what they think, even if it's harsh. That's the kind of friend that you want, right?
Yes.
I definitely agree. That's the kind of friend you want. You want someone to be honest with you, not someone that will watch you literally go left and literally run into a ditch and then they will be telling you, no, you're fine, you're good, you're okay. No, that's not the kind of friend you want. You want a friend that would be honest, babe. What you're doing right now, not okay. This is not okay. Super says, I think Wendy admired Karen. Yes, I definitely think so. I think she admired Karen, and it's a shame the way it seems like it's turning out, to be honest. Super says, Stacey's head is so big, literally, she thinks she's the moment. Well, if to be honest, with the way social media is taking Stacey, yes, I think that is exactly what it is. She feels like she is the fan favorite. So yeah, I guess that's why her head is getting big.
So we talked about it. We're good.
we were gossiping a little bit before the show about Quad kind
were
of checking
gossiping.
Giselle last week. What were your reactions of that?
I think Quad did her thing. I think that sometimes when
she
you say
did.
things, I mean, I have to answer
Yes,
for
she
things I say,
did.
so she needed to answer for that. Yes.
Stacey, what was your reaction?
I loved every moment of it. Yes.
Of course, Stacey loved it. Stacey's like, yes, check Giselle, because the people don't be letting Giselle have it. She's like, check her, check her.
I loved every moment of it. Let's make sure we roll that tape back because she's a liar.
Oh, Stacey, not you calling somebody a liar. Not you calling somebody a liar. You're a liar too, honey. So you're fitting right at home.
And the tape rolled back. It was not in Giselle's favor.
Right.
Okay.
And she threw her friend under the bus. So
Who does that?
Okay.
Right?
That's dangerous.
Eesh. Giselle, it's not looking good for you, bruv. It really ain't looking good for you. Wendy needed to go far. D is cracking me up. D is like, no, 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 I'm not with the kitty glove stuff. D is like, Wendy needed to go far. She stood by and watched Stacey lie again and again, and she says nothing. This time she says something. Yep, I could that was the energy I got. I got that lady was tired of constantly having to stick up for this lady that keeps lying unprovoked. And I think that that's what it was. I think she was genuinely just like, do you know what? I am tired of it. This lady keeps lying. This is annoying. Like, what is this? And I honestly, if I had to put it, I do not blame her for saying and speaking on how she feels. If I were her too, I probably will feel the same way. The lies are too much. The lies have to stop. D says Karen has no beef with Wendy. If she's going after Wendy, she's wrong. I would have thought she would be humbled. Yeah, she went after Wendy apparently. She's definitely not been humbled. Maybe she's been humbled at other people, but she came back with a vengeance for Wendy. She came back with a vengeance for Wendy. And if Wendy and Karen don't squash it, when Wendy, I was going to say when she goes to jail, but if she goes to jail, let me be graceful because she may not, hopefully. But if she goes to jail, Karen will drag her and she comes back on the show. Karen will drag her to be. She'll drag her all the way together, all the way. I definitely hope they take a plea deal and just leave it and just squash it so that, like, they may perhaps not do time, end it, and everybody goes their separate ways or something. They have to pay the money back, something. But going to trial and having all that information come out in the public, I don't even think they would want to do that. Super says, I still want to know when did they pass Real Housewives of Potomac in the ratings? Honestly, I personally think it was probably maybe one episode, not that it was consistent, but I have no way to prove that. This is just my personal belief. I feel like what Quad says is usually an exaggeration, so I believe that this is not different. I think this is definitely an exaggeration too. Okay, so Kenya had some thoughts about Nini returning to the girls trip, or returning to Bravo. So let me just play that for y'all to listen to, and then we will talk about it. And then I think I have one more, which is about Jazzy. Then we will move on to Married to Medicine.
Comes to Nene or an OG from Atlanta, I do feel that Nene or Sheree should have been a part of that main cast, especially when listen, we all love Sheree, whether she's coming or going. We love to see her play with the girls. And when it comes to like having an
I don't know, for me, I don't really see what they see in Sheree. I think that when the other stronger girls, when I say stronger, I mean like stronger personalities like Nene, Portia, are on the show. I can understand having Sheree there, but that season where it was Sheree and Marlo, I feel like that was the worst season ever. And I just did not feel like Sheree was really pulling her weight. And this is why she is the most hired and fired housewife of all time, because they keep pulling her out and pulling her back, because I just don't think, I think she thinks she brings more than she does, in my opinion. She's had some good moments, but I just think she really believes she brings more to the show than she really does.
OG present, and knowing that Atlanta was one of the first franchises, we want to see nostalgic, RHOA at its prime, and Sheree was a part of that. And
D says what Wendy did or did not do, allegedly, could only harm herself. Yep. Karen could have unalived people. She needs to pipe down. Absolutely. Yes, I definitely agree with it. I definitely think that it's funny. I feel like there wasn't enough vim for what Karen has done, and a lot of people kind of let that go. But yeah, she could have unalived someone. We're just grateful that she didn't, but she could have. Super says, right, Quad is a fraud because Married to Medicine has never reached 700 plus. I am not surprised. It was probably just that one episode and she decided to ride on that. But I'm like, you say that Married to Medicine does numbers, but every time I'm on YouTube, I'm seeing people talk about Real Housewives of Potomac and not Married to Medicine. So which is it?
obviously Nene was a part of that. So I just kind of feel like maybe they missed the mark a little bit when it came to the casting. But again, I'm not a part of casting. I have an opinion like everyone else, and my opinion matters. And yours does too. You are a fan, and you help to create these moments. And at some point, they have to listen to the fans, right? Thoughts on Nene coming?
So yeah, of course, everybody's happy about Nene being
I'm a fan. I still think that she is one of the most iconic reality stars of all time. And I'm happy that that door is open for her to return. Now, you guys know that she isn't. And again, this is not any shade, so please don't. This is a positive day, okay? This is a day of
What are you about to say? Because once somebody starts saying, oh, this is not to shade yours, usually before they shade you. On that note, everybody, please hit that like button. As you guys come in, please hit that like button. Thank you.
celebration. I made it another year in life, and it has been a tough year physically, regarding health and things like that for me. So I am not trying to be shady. Other than like lightweight fun shade, I am not trying to tear anyone down. I just literally am answering the questions that you have asked, and please don't read anything else into it. I think you guys know when I'm trying to shade someone, and today I'm not, right? At least not as of right now. Okay, so you guys want to know how I feel about Nene. So she wasn't a part of the main cast, right? So there's the main cast that.
Yeah, I guess Kenya is doing what Nene to an extent was doing, because Nene would also say her opinions on these things every now and then, not as much as Kenya is saying. But yeah, I definitely think that I feel like yes, it would have been nice for Nini to have a full time on the show, but let's be honest, Nini sued her employers. Nini had lots to say about her employers, so I'm not surprised that she didn't get the opportunity to be a full time cast. I feel like it's even a blessing that she is even being put on the cast to begin with, and she's getting so much attention because she's on the cast. So I think like little blessings, little wins, please. Super says they chose Portia because she has the 360. They couldn't afford to pay the others for 2 weeks. Oof. Yep, probably. And Portia is laughing all the way to the bank, honey. Tommy says Kenya is so hilarious. I have to give it to her. I don't know, to be fair. Like, I don't really find her funny like that. Like, maybe here and there, but not really actively funny. But okay. D says Nini should have been on the bus. She put Housewives on the map. Yeah, but at the same time, I also understand her not being on it because, they still need to kind of humble you a little bit, because how many people sue their employers and go back to work? How many people call their employers a sea head and then come back to work? So just saying. The only good thing She by Sheen said is who gonna check me, boo. Yes, exactly. And I feel like people love that phrase and they constantly remember that, and that's why they can't let the whole charade, She by Sheree go. But the truth is that lady is not no I'm not even trying to shade, I'm just calling it how I see it. I don't really see what she brings or has brought to the show in the past that is that iconic outside of Who Gonna Check Me Boo and then Spring Summer September. That is it. Those two, like, those are the old, that's it. Right? We can't compare that to like Bayashi. We can't compare that to Don't Make Me Call Portia. Like, we can't compare that to all of the fun little comments. Even Candy, the lies, the lies. Like, there are other things that are more iconic, right? Or the bit about the scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the BS, right? Like, those things were really iconic. So I just feel like the only thing that was really, really iconic for Sheree was Who Gonna Check Me Boo, and that was it. So when people really hype Sheree, I don't really get it. Maybe she's a fun girl for them, but we didn't see much of that in the show. Super is like, Kenya is hating from outside the club. Be quiet. Yes. Bajan says, don't make me call Portia. Just hope this humble Nini, because she's Housewives gold. Absolutely. I feel like she's had enough time to reflect, and I do think she will come back humble. I don't know how long it's going to last, but she will come back humble.
That they assembled that consisted of all OGs. And we all know I am a fan. I still think that she is one of the most iconic reality stars of all time.
Yes, she is.
I'm happy. RHOP or NBC Universal, I'm not sure. So maybe that was like a part of her deal where she, has to be on a certain amount of shows for them, because we've been seeing her on a lot, right? Which is great for business and great for her, and good for her to be able to negotiate a contract that would allow her to do other projects.
Yes, I definitely think Nini is, whatever is happening with her, she is definitely negotiating, it seems. And I think that it's only a matter of time before they eventually bring her on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think that's, if you think about it, before they brought Phaedra back, they kind of tested her on other shows as well, with the Real Housewives of Dubai and then Married to Medicine. And I feel like it wouldn't be any different with trying to take Nini on this girls trip and then see how much traction she brings, and then bring her onto Housewives just to get as much traction as possible.
But within the family. So how do you feel about the divorce between Kandi and Todd? How is Kandi doing?
Okay, so now she's talking about the divorce between Kandi and Todd.
So there's a part of me that's like super sad about that, because I'm just such a lover of love, and I want people to just be in love and do well. They have children together, young children together. And I really feel sad about that, because I want families to be a family. It's something I didn't have growing up. And I was always an advocate for Todd. I used to tell Kandi, he's good for you. Thank you. So
I guess my question is, do you regret that? Saying that he's good for you? Because is it really good for you? Because that's not what the streets were saying.
To see them going through what they're going through is pretty heartbreaking. But at the same time, I think women need to know that you need to always be with someone who is a ride or die for you. Bravo or NBC Universal, I'm not sure. So maybe that was through what they're going through is pretty heartbreaking. But at the same time, I think women need to know that you need to always be with someone who is a ride or die for you. And if they're doing things and you're trying to work it out and they don't show change behavior, listen, I've been there. So at some point, and women, we give people a lot of chances and we shouldn't. But obviously a marriage deserves more of a chance because the stakes are higher and can you shut that door for me? There are more things. Thank you. There are more things that's going on. Okay, here we go. So how is Candy doing? She's going through a divorce. It's difficult. And that's hard for her through what they're going through.
Yeah, I think Candy will be all right. It's so sad. I definitely never encourage any, or would be like excited for anyone to get a divorce. It can't be easy. So I do hope that she is surrounded by love and support in this season. I do think that I do like the hair color though. This is like slightly off topic, but I do like the hair color in Kenya. You all know I like to compliment when I see the need for a compliment. I wonder why they didn't ask Kim as one of the OGs. They probably are like, yo, Kim is going through it. Isn't Kim going through a divorce? I thought she was going through a divorce. Is she still? Because there's also been stuff about money issues. So, allegedly. So maybe that's why. Kenya, next time go to the plastic surgeon, get your double chin fixed. I don't think she has a double chin, Bajan. I think that it is the shadow that was hitting her a certain way. I don't think Kenya has a double chin. Her jaw actually looks pretty chiseled, in my opinion. Is that why Mark is in her house? Is Mark in her house, allegedly? Oh. Or is... Ooh. Allegedly. Do we know for a fact that is Mark in her house? Also, apparently Kenya is not joining the girls trip because of the ongoing lawsuit involving Brit Edie, who is suing Bravo for SH, basically, following what Kenya decided to do. So I'm just like, I still don't understand how you can do that, right, to another woman. And so I'm not surprised that she's not back because that's a huge liability. Bravo definitely don't want that liability. If Kenya even ever comes back, it's going to take a while before they bring her back on the screen. It's because it's like people don't... These sorts of shows don't want people that cost them money. They do not want people that cost them money. So I'm just saying. And then people are in the comments saying like, oh, Brit is not relevant anymore. Bring back Kenya. I'm like, tell that to the lawsuits. Tell that to the lawsuits. They are not doing that at all. Now someone saying Kenya would have been more interesting than Portia. Girl, please. Kenya is not as interesting as Portia, in my opinion, please. Pageant says, rewind. Where is Mark? Super says, that's what the streets are saying. The streets of Atlanta? Allegedly. Kim has found herself another big papa, allegedly a multimillionaire who is going through a divorce, and allegedly Kim has been named in the divorce. It's sad when anyone gets a divorce, but I'm Team Todd. Oh, that's what he says. Interesting. I did not hear about Kim finding herself a big daddy, but I guess good for her. Hopefully it lasts. Okay, so Jazzy had this to say, and then let's move on to Married to Medicine. Jazzy was not impressed with what a lot of us had to say about the outfit, honey. remember the reunion outfit? We were roasting it. We were roasting it. We were roasting her fit. She said, let's be so for real. The loudest hate always comes from the cheapest seat. Sit back and watch the girls do them. Potomac ate and I left no crumbs. I'm like, girl, you did. A lot of us are proudly wearing black designers, so I'm unbothered. I felt incredible and it showed. Girl, you did not even look like you felt incredible. I'm just gonna drop that there. Your face is giving, I'm not fully impressed with this outfit, honey. Just saying. And here's a picture to remind you all of this outfit. Just because it's black owned does not mean it needs to look like that, honey. Like, but this is ugly. Sorry. I don't know what to tell y'all, but it's not cute. It is not cute. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, let's do some Married to Medicine. I am going to play. Let me see. All right, so let me say some 2 cents about Married to Medicine first. For those who watched Married to Medicine, first of all, y'all, what would you rate this episode of Married to Medicine? What would you rate the episode of Married to Medicine? Let me put a poll up for those who have watched it. If Tommy is still here, could you please put a poll up? Let me see if she's there. If not, she may have slept. Let me just put the poll up myself. But I am going to be typing, so bear with me, guys. One second. Last episode of Married to Medicine. So I'm asking you guys, how would you rate the last episode of Married to Medicine? 1, 2, 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 10. So y'all let me know in the chat, how would you rate the last episode of Married to Medicine? I would actually say Married to Medicine have been doing so good this season. I feel like it's funny. One thing I definitely agree with Quad about is that Potomac may have not been doing much, but Married to Medicine is definitely doing bits. I don't necessarily believe her ratings and where she gets her ratings from, but I can definitely say that Married to Medicine has been interesting. Married to Medicine has been fun this season. They are definitely everybody's clocked in. Everybody is clocked in. Now, Super thought Married to Medicine was boring. You think Married to Medicine was boring compared to Real Housewives of Potomac? On a scale of Potomac versus Married to Medicine, I think Married to Medicine was more interesting. Y'all let me know, but I thought Married to Medicine was more interesting than Potomac this episode. It was way more interesting than Potomac. Granted, not much happened, but it was still way more interesting than Potomac. There's no way you will tell me, Super, that Potomac was more interesting than Married to Medicine. Y'all let me know, please. But I have put a poll in the chat for you guys to let me know how you would rate the latest episode of Married to Medicine. Y'all put it in the chat. Also vote in the poll so I know what you guys think. So I'll give you guys a bit of time to come back to that, to vote in the poll, and then I'll come back to what my rating is. But I wanted to start with the comments that Heavenly made about Simone saying she'll check the VIN number. I don't know if you guys saw the interview that Heavenly had with Carlos. In that interview, she was basically letting the people know that Simone meant it as a joke. But that is the thing. Why didn't you say it in the actual show? And this is what I mean when I say Heavenly starts. I even almost swore. Heavenly knows how to start ish. She knows how to stir it up and she knows how to start ish. And I think that's really what it was. I think she was definitely stirring it up and wanted Quad and Simone to go at it. I think that is ultimately what she wanted. She was egging it on. And I definitely agree with what Cecil said. Cecil said she was egging it on. That is ultimately what she was trying to do. I don't believe for a second that, oh, she was just saying it. No. If you see the way she relayed it to Quad, it was definitely not given, this is a joke, this is a sly comment. No, it was given, nah. She said, oh, if she had your VIN number, she would check it. And that's how she said it. She no joke, no, oh, she said it as a joke. Heavenly did not say that at all. And be careful of people like Heavenly. They will sit down, talk to you, and then take what you say and not necessarily frame it in the way you said it. They will just take it and then run with it. And so I'm definitely very, very, I can't even say I'm disappointed in Heavenly because this is what she does. Like, it's not surprising. She does this all the time. Like, let's be for real. This is not the first time Heavenly has done some shady-ish like that. Super says, I found Potomac more interesting. That is very interesting. I found Married to Medicine more interesting. Potomac, it just felt like they were just driving all through. And yeah, it just didn't do anything for me, but interesting. Super says, my rating is a 6. I think 6 is pretty good, all things compared, right? Like, I think 6 is a decent rating. I definitely think 6 is a decent rating, especially because of what we are getting nowadays. I think 6 is a decent rating. Super says Heavenly is what spoils Married to Medicine for me. I'm not gonna lie, me too. In a way, I actually hope maybe she wins these positions so she doesn't have to be on the show anymore. But I suspect she will still find a way to do some commentary about it. So I don't know what to say. Now, I think what is the most laughable thing of it all is the fact that Heavenly is out here talking to her so-called husband, and she had the audacity to say miserable people do miserable things. I'm like, honey, you are miserable too. At least you come across as miserable. Because you're the one that is always constantly putting yourself in certain situations that has has nothing to do with you. No, none of your business. Right? So if you're saying that Simone is miserable, then you're miserable too. At the end of the day, and do you know what? Let me not say it. I really wanted to go there, but let me not say it. Let me not go down to her level. Heavenly, literally, you're saying you don't want to put yourself in a hostile situation. Girl, you have been hostile with a lot of people. You have been hostile, calling people, telling people their mamas. That is hostile behavior. And see how she was so quick to cry, like, oh, she doesn't want to be there around her. She doesn't feel safe. Honey, you have been hostile to these women so many times over the years. They should have said they didn't feel safe around you. I'm even surprised they didn't do that. But you were so quick to cry victim. Y'all should have known this about Heavenly. Remember when Contessa wanted to clock that A and she was running? No, girl, why are you running? Why are you running? Because you know you can say a lot of nonsense, but you're all it takes is for someone to whoop that ass. In my opinion. Give her a little pop, pop, pow. Maybe she'll relax. But I definitely don't buy, everyone else is miserable but you. You're miserable, honey. That much is certain. That much is certain. And it's so annoying when I hear the husband kind of make it seem like everyone else is bullying her. I'm like, are you okay? It's okay to not get involved and say like, okay, you guys settle it and stay out of it. But it's another thing for you to open your mouth. Like seriously, you open your mouth and you make it seem like the girls are bullying Heavenly. Are you okay, sir? Like, who would be bullying Heavenly? You act like you don't know your wife. And I know for a fact that you know your wife, which gives me the impression, you all know I've said it a lot of times. I feel like Dr. Heavenly's husband is just like her. He is just more refined. He knows how to hide it a little bit more, but he is just like her. He is just like her. Because there's no way he would be watching all of the things that happened and say that the people are bullying Heavenly. Are you okay, sir? Like, nobody's saying don't write for your wife. You can just stay out of it and just be like, oh, I hope you all squash it. But for you to open your big mouth and then be like, oh, bullying. What bullying? Please. Super says, I can't stand that little soft voice she tries to use when she's talking to daddy. I know. It's just like, please. It's cringe. Now, the funniest part of this whole thing was Simona Accord, after having a whole fit and screaming in each other's faces, they're literally at the airport laughing. And I'm like, are you all crazy or what? Like they have such a dysfunctional relationship. But it was like they were just out here just laughing and laughing and laughing. Super also agrees with me. Super says Heavenly and Dr. Daddy are the same person. I definitely agree. I just think Dr. Daddy is just a little bit more refined in the sense that he doesn't go around calling people your mama. But I feel like at the core, I feel like they are exactly alike. And this is why they get on. Sometimes you're like, oh, the husband just seems so nice. Da, da, da. When you get to the root of it, they're usually the same person. They know how to mirror each other very well. Um, yes. So, also, did you guys notice? I know a lot of people call Toya dumb, but I don't think y'all know how smart Toya is. Toya looked at the floor plans for the freaking property before she got there. She knew where she was going, honey. She she is playing chess, the others are playing checkers. Did you hear when that lady said, she literally said something about, I know the floor plans or something like that. I'm like, girl, you were out here looking at the floor plans just to make sure you got the right room. Like, come on. That takes a level of commitment, and she definitely got a good room still. So whatever she was checking was good. It definitely worked. But yeah, it's funny. It's always the people who they think are so stupid and not very smart. They definitely know more than they are letting on. Now, anyone notice Angel's behavior? Angel girl, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you were on that night, but you need to come off it. It's not looking good. It really is not looking good. Whatever it is that you got going on, Angel, nah. You are coming off too spicy. You're coming off as a try hard. You're giving me very jazzy vibes, jazzy from Potomac, which is trying too hard. And I just don't get it. You tried to check Toya at the party, it did not work. Then you tried to check Simone, it didn't work. And now it's like you're coming off a little spicy at Brandy. And it's like, girl, pipe down. What is all this energy for? Super says that's why he allegedly cheats with the opposite of her. He loves snow bunnies, allegedly. But yes, I've heard those rumors as well. It's all alleged. We don't know what the truth is, but the streets have definitely been talking about that. Yeah, but I felt like Angel was just way too spicy for my liking. Like, what was that? Like, let me see if I can find you all the clip, because that really annoyed me. I was like, girl, are you okay? Like, what is this negative energy? Like, what is it? And I'm just like, some of these people, it's just like, I feel like it's the attention that they are craving. They want to be loved and they want to be seen as the fun girl and they want to be seen as like, I checked somebody. And I feel like Angel came wanting to feel like she was checking somebody, but it just fell flat. It did not land at all. I don't know what you were hoping to do, but that did not land at all. Let me see if I can get the clip. Because for me, I just kept thinking, what in the world is this girl doing? Who is she trying to check? To be honest, I think, was that a. Sorry, guys, let me try and get that up. The thing is, I can't have too many clips open at the same time, so it can be a little bit hard. Let me see. I think this might be it. Oh, you know how Instagram is? You cannot even edit this at all. Uh Let me see if I can find it. Where is this? So at the moment they are showing the, because I'm trying not to show you everything. So at the moment I'm just like trying to play it forward so that we can see it all. And then when Angel wants her to say her little 2 cents, let me see if I can find a separate clip where it is just Angel. Where is it? Maybe No Chaser has it. Let's see. The funny thing is I had it on my screen and then I mistakenly closed it. It's the worst thing ever when you mistakenly close something. Yes, found it. Trust No Chaser. Shout out to No Chaser. I hope he's feeling better. All right, let me share this. Yes, Brandy did not come with bad energy at all. Angel was the one with the bad energy. I'm like, not you being the one that has the bad energy.
Energy. We have good energy in this room.
Yes.
I have to have great energy around me, especially when I go to sleep.
Girl, please. So what should she do? If she has bad energy, you either sleep there or you get out. Like, I don't know. Like, this is a girl's trip at the end of the day. If you don't want to be on a trip, stay home. Right? So like when people feel like they can then come and start giving all their requirements, honey, we gotta share a room. If I have bad energy, you either get out and leave or you stay there. That's your business. That's up to you. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
I've had a tough day,
That should have just been the end of it.
so I've earned this room. I have like 3 unnecessary closets.
The vibes got to be good for me. That's
I mean, at the end of the
So then it's now a conversation. The vibes got to be good for me. So what if the vibes ain't good? Like, that's what I would say. So what if the vibes ain't good? What would you do? Like,
day, look,
I think Brandy was still managing it and she was just being like, all right, cool.
I'm a move on, but like I can't get over.
So you got bad energy.
Like, girl, what are you doing? Angel was honestly, in my opinion, was just trying to have a moment. It was given she was just trying to have a moment because there's no way this lady is basically there's nothing that Brandy has done that gives the impression that Brandy is not going to have great energy. So I don't really understand why Angel is on some BS. It's giving Angel just wants attention at this point.
Me as a person, I don't have bad energy.
Okay, good.
Right?
Tell me what
That's the end. That should have been the end of it. Then she's like, tell me what you're
working with so I can know who.
She already told you. Why are you antagonizing the lady? If you don't want to, it's almost like she's taking it out on Brandy, the fact that she has to share a room. You're a newbie. You are going to share a room with. They're not going, it's one of the things they do with newbies.
I'm with.
I mean,
so what do you want? Why are you acting like you're the boss of her? I think Brandy was even very nice. And this is why I feel like the people be coming for Brandy, because I think Mimi tried it a little bit and now Angel is trying it.
like, what does that mean?
Exactly. Like, what does that mean? What are we doing?
Oh, be careful. Energy police.
So I'm
Not the energy police.
just asking you what you got so I can know how to roll.
You need to check yourself before you check other people's energy, especially mine.
And if all else fails, the energy don't work for you, closet door is open, right?
So
I love how she said that the door is open, right? If you don't want, if the energy does not work for you, the door is open. Okay. And I feel like that needed to be said because what the hell is this whole energy business? Like, if you don't like her energy, get out and get another room. Go somewhere else. Go to the Ritz like you wanted to. They said she came for Basketball Wives, but I stopped watching that years ago. I've even watched Basketball Wives, but I don't even remember her on the show. So I don't think she brought much on that show either. Brandy is not going to let them do what they did to Sweet Tea. Like she said, you can go to Quad's room. Exactly. That is exactly what it is. I think that they are definitely trying to haze Brandy. And I think that's why Mimi also tried to check Brandy. I think they probably feel like Brandy is the weakest link of them all. And Brandy is probably the one that will let them just walk all over her. And Brandy just ain't here for it.
If somebody come to you and be like, what's your energy gonna be? If your energy is good, then we're good in this room. That's how I bringing the energy in a room. So bring it down. But you brought
Exactly, bring it down. You're not about to bring some freaking mad energy and then basically be like, whatever. Oh, Super said she said Quad's door is open. I thought, oh, maybe she did. Whatever the case is, the door is open, honey. Quad's door or the main door, whichever one she needs to use. But Angel is funny. Angel is the one talking about good energy, but her energy is all the way stank. It's like you're talking about good energy, but your energy is bad, sister. It's terrible.
energy is saying that.
And I love how Toya would always ride for her friends. You can tell that Toya likes Brandy. Brandy is now in Toya's circle. So Toya is going to ride the same way she rides for Simone. She's going to be riding for Brandy unless Brandy pisses her off. So we'll have to see.
No, I need to know who I'm in a room with. Just apologize to your roommate. No.
Exactly. Just apologize. Like, what are you doing? Like, it doesn't make sense. You're the one with the stank energy, sis.
She basically said, if I don't like her energy, then you welcome to go by Quad. No, that's after you just said all of that. Really?
Exactly. That's after you just said all of that. And I love how Brandy did not let her rest. Nah, you're not about to lie in my face and make it seem like I started ish when you were the one that started ish. It's funny. Angel acts like she's above it all. You know, the girls came and acted a fool. Girl, you're acting a fool in this room over a freaking bunk bedroom. Seriously, what are we doing? And yes, Super, you're right. Angel tried to gaslight her. And I love how Brandy was like, hell nah, you're not about to gaslight me. I am stepping in and correcting it because you're not about to make it seem like I was out here trying to stir ish up. I was minding my business. And then you decided to bring yourself into this mess. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Also, guys, please vote. At the moment, it is a tie. So I need someone at least to be the tiebreaker, or there would not be any conclusive results for the poll. So please, if you have not voted, please vote in the poll.
Do you need to repeat? You need to play back?
No. I love how Brandy's like, you need to play back? Like, Brandy is not here for it at all.
She's very aggressive.
Contessa looks beautiful. She looks good.
Okay.
Contessa is a beautiful woman. That face is A1, honey. A1.
Hey.
These two ladies are sucking the life out of us.
Jackie girl, I think that may be something else. I don't think the ladies have gotten that far to be sucking the life out of y'all. Maybe something else is sucking the life out of you, babes.
Let's just push a reset button. Reset. You know, at the end of a straw cup, that is what they're doing to us.
So how I feel, however you may have taken it, that wasn't my approach.
This lady decided to gaslight her again. However you must have taken it, that was not my approach. Girl, I would have just been pissed. What do you mean that was not your approach? And this is what I mean when I say Angel is trying too hard. Angel is trying to have us talk about her in these streets. Because how are you going to say to that lady, it's not my approach? That's basically saying, I don't care how you feel, that's your business. Basically, in other words.
Approach her intent.
However you want to, however she...
Toya was there to correct her, like, intent?
receive it. However she can receive it. Whatever, do you understand?
Girl, however you can receive it.
Understand what I'm saying?
No, girl, I do not understand what you're saying because what you're saying is some BS. That's what I need Brandy to have said because that was some BS.
I delivered it. That wasn't my intent. That wasn't the way that I wanted to come out. If I offended you.
She's making it work.
Brandy is so unbothered over there eating her popcorn. Like, please, girl, I see exactly what you're trying to do. I clocked you and now you want to run it back and act like you ain't did nothing wrong.
Your apology don't mean nothing. Like, you said what you said and you meant what you meant.
I completely agree with what Brandy said. She definitely said what she said. I meant it. Period.
You was being shady and I called you on it and you decided to back up.
You know what she said and how she said it reminded me of? That was when Cynthia from Real Housewives of Atlanta was imitating Nene, and she was like, "You need to back up. You need to back up." There's something about the way and the hand motions of Brandy saying that reminds me of the "you need to back up." And Nene was getting her life. It was such a funny scene. If I can find that, I don't even have the time to start finding it tonight, honey. But if y'all know the clip, y'all let me know in the chat.
We put on our bathing suits.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get our bathing suits on.
But let's just like end it. Everybody walk outside. Let's walk back in. Let's start the night over. And let's move on from this.
I also love that Brandy is able to move on because some people, it would become a whole fight. The ladies then moved on to have a wonderful time. And isn't it interesting how they had so much fun when Heavenly wasn't there? Everybody had a wonderful time. Everybody had fun. I love that. Love, love, love that for them. Like, absolutely love that for them. It was nice to see that. The other thing I noticed is Contessa knows how to be a good host, honey. Angel, I need you to watch and take some notes, please. You know why? Because she thought about everything. She literally was thinking about the home, everybody in the same house. Even though two people had to share, they were the new people. The house was nice. The people had their own rooms, except, the girls that had to share. Then Contessa thought about the drinks for the girls. She thought about what the girls like to drink. That is a level of detail that takes it to the next level. When your host literally knows what you like to drink. And if you noticed also, Contessa planned activities that each of the groups would like. Contessa decided to split the group the next day, had the girls who liked the chill thing to have food by the waterside or something. And then the girls who wanted to play with dolphins went over there and played with dolphins. I feel like the way it was done, I loved that. I love that she really thought about it and she was like, oh, Toya and Simone are not going to, or Toya and who else did she say? Jackie are not going to like playing with the dolphins. So she intentionally broke up the group with the people that would like certain activities. And then they come together to spend time together. That's how it should be done. So Angel from Real Housewives of Potomac, honey, I hope you are taking notes because this is how you run a trip and make sure everything goes smoothly. It's definitely given that Contessa has planned a lot of things in her life because she was paying attention to all of the details. Super says, I know the clip. Yeah, that clip cracks me up all the time. I just love it. You need to back up. You need to back up. And Nene was like so hyped as Cynthia was doing it. It was so funny to me. It cracks me up every single time. Now, let's talk about Toya versus Angel. Toya versus Angel. I think Angel loves starting off with the questions, honey. What kind of friend are you? What kind of energy do you have? It's like, girl, just get to the point. What is it that you are trying to say, honey? Are you trying to say she ain't a good friend? If so, tell her. Because Angel, she just met you 5 seconds ago. You guys are not even friends. Let's be clear. And I feel like I understand where Toya is coming from too. I get where both sides are coming from. Yes, maybe Toya shouldn't have said it in front of the guy, but you were also trying to play Toya. Because why are you asking Toya to introduce you to people, knowing fully well that you've had a long-standing situationship for 10 years, allegedly, with that man? What are you doing? 10 years. That's a long time. You had Nobody's saying as a single woman you can't date, but if you have a long-standing 10-year situationship going on with somebody, then that is given that you are not fully single. And I can understand her not wanting to give you a serious man, not wanting to hook you up with a serious man. Imagine she portrays you as this sound girl, safe and sanctified, good-looking girl who is looking for a husband. And then you go over there and you're showing behavior that is clear that you ain't want a husband. You're just here for a good time. Of course, he's going to be going over there to Toya like, Toya, who did you hook me up with? Now, do I think Toya could have kept that in drafts and not said that in front of the lady and that man? Yes, but I think Toya intentionally did that. I think Toya wanted to go in there and set it all on fire, and she did exactly that. Toya was like, "You're not about to come and put me in a terrible situation because I wanted to hook you up, knowing fully well you are dating another man. So, no, I'm going to blow up your old ish." And that's exactly what she did. But I do definitely think, like, for me, as a girl's girl, I would never do that though. I'm just saying, I would never do that. I'm gonna pull that lady to the side and say, "Girl, why would you have me out here trying to find you a man, knowing fully well you have a man?" So that's what I would do personally. But Toya was like, "Yeah, now we're on a show. I'm about to bring it up. Let's address it now." So fair enough. Now, Super said she was talking about Candy. Yes, she was. One thing I will say is Toya is actually a very loyal friend. If she is on your friend group, she is loyal to the core. If you guys look at the way she interacts with people, you can tell that her and Simone are friends for real. The way that when the whole Simone was talking about the whole Heavenly interaction, you can tell that Simone was upset that Heavenly seemed to have gone around to make it seem that she was scared of being around Simone when Heavenly has also acted a fool a lot in the past, right? So you can definitely see that Simone was hurt. You would see that Toya got up and Toya went over there and hugged her. Toya was like validating how she felt. You wouldn't like it if she comes, you know? And she literally just was there and supported her friend. Interestingly enough, also, when Heavenly came to join them at the lunch or whatever, she was very clear. She's like, "You have to be careful when you touch people." She was out here writing for her friend. She's like, "Simone ain't here, but I'm not out here going to be chummy chummy with you, knowing fully well that you have been coming at Simone a certain way. And I'm not out here. You should be careful how you touch people." And so I definitely think that Toya would write for her friends in front of them and behind them. And that's one of the things I like about Toya. I think that Toya, out of everyone on that show, Toya is loyal, Toya is consistent. I just think that the one thing Toya is brash. In the way in which she talks about stuff, she's brash, she has no filter. But other than that, I think that lady is solid compared to everyone else. She is not with all the fake shenanigans that a lot of these girls are on. So I would say I would rather be friends with a Toya than a Heavenly. With a Heavenly would be acting like she is your friend, but say everything you said, but not relay it in the way that in which you said it. Relay it to stir-ish up. That is what Heavenly does. Agent of chaos. That's really what she does, right? That's Heavenly's position on the show. So I just think that I love the way Toya was like, "Yeah, just be careful when you touch people." Because it's like you can't do all of that, then come and then try to take a picture with me like we're friends. Like, don't touch me. Please get your hands off me. So I love at least how Toya stood up for Simone then. Super says allegedly Angel went to Vegas with Quad for BravoCon and they were partying. Okay. I am not surprised. Because I also saw that they were partying in Ghana. And I think did they even go to Nigeria as well at some point? But I think they were partying in Ghana for Dirty December. With Yandy. And you know Yandy is newly single as well. So the girls were outside. I didn't see no kink in sight. So it's given that the girls are single. Who knows? Angel may still be in her situationship, but it definitely looks like the lady was single or the girls were single having a good time. That's what I would say. Um, but anyway, I would say so far, if I had to give a rating for Married to Medicine, I would give it a 7. I think they did a fab job this episode. I loved seeing the girls have fun. I definitely tend to enjoy seeing them having fun. there's something about seeing the girls have fun that really does it for me personally. So it was very nice to see them having fun. I think it was interesting that as soon as Heavenly came, the energy shifted, and it really sucks because it's like it shows that all of them can get along once Heavenly is not there. Because once Heavenly is there, she would stir Ish up, she would bring negative energy. It's just terrible. So let me see what y'all are saying in the votes. How would you rate the latest episode of Married to Medicine? Majority of people, so 40%, well, it's not really a huge majority, let me be clear. 40% said they rated between 4 to 7. 30% would rate it between a 1 to 3. 30% would rate it between an 8 to 10. Okay, so I would definitely rate it a 7. So I guess I'm within the 40% group of people. But yeah, I definitely think that um yeah, in all, I would say I wasn't too I was definitely like I wouldn't say overly impressed, but I thought the episode was good. I definitely preferred it to Potomac. I think Potomac, I just felt like they were driving all around, and it felt like the whole episode was a freaking drive. Whew. Sorry, y'all. I need to go to bed. I need to take some painkillers again, and they are the drowsy kind. So I am going to call it a night. But I wanted to thank you, everybody, for joining in. Thank you for all of the comments, to everybody that was leaving feedback in the chat. For the replay gang, please, as you listen, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that hype button if you can as well. And let us know what you think in the comments so that we know your thoughts and feedback on the Real Housewives of Potomac stories and the Married to Medicine recap as well. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Thanks for Super for staying until the end and supporting with the Married to Medicine conversation. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Bajan, as always. Thank you, Dee, for joining as well. Thank you, Afro Bell, for joining as well. It's always good to see you guys. Thank you, Tommy, my beautiful mod. I think she may be asleep, so y'all tell her good night. Let me see. Thank you to everybody who joined. And I'm going to bed, and I will see you guys. Well, to be fair, tomorrow I'm probably going to have a bunch of videos going live. And then later in the evening, let me think. I will have a bunch of videos going out tomorrow. I think most of them may be pre-recorded. Unless something specific happens tomorrow, then I may not necessarily come on live, but I may do like one of those pre-recorded lives so you guys still have content for tomorrow. But anyway, good night, Super. Good night, Bajan. Good night, everybody.